Education quality assurance body Umalusi has affirmed the credibility of the 2023 matric examinations and approved the results. The body made the announcement in Pretoria this morning. More than 700,000 full-time pupils registered for the National Senior Certificate exams in 2023. Zola Sholwana was at the briefing, and you're standing by, Zola, to get into conversation with the CEO of Umalusi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too, Dudu. You might have heard Umalusi releasing statistics of the 2023 matric results and mentioning that they've made progress in terms of mistakes that were experienced in the previous years that had to be rectified. You might also heard them speak about the issue of load shedding, saying that it did not really affect most matriculants as far as they know, and they raised a number of irregularities that were experienced during the examinations, but also mentioned that there weren't a lot of them. They also spoke about arrests that were made in different parts of the country, some of them being made in Burgersfort in Limpopo, making sure that rather actually telling the public that they should make sure that they refrain from buying fake matric certificates, because that is an ongoing problem that people are experiencing. And there's also a worker, an employee rather, of the Department of Higher Education that was also arrested in all of that. But to tell us more, we are joined by the CEO of Umalusi. Sir, thank you very much for your time. Of course, you've mentioned that 2023 wasn't such a bad year, academic year, mentioning that in terms of irregularities, there were quite a number of improvements. If you could just touch on that.
What we have observed is that, first of all, there was no paper that leaked, and that has to be celebrated. It has been some years now that the system did not experience leaked papers. But what is important also to note is that the irregularities are being taken seriously by the different assessment bodies. This is to an extent that they are reducing in number. We have observed a downward trajectory when it comes to these irregularities. And we celebrate the fact that South Africans are taking these examinations seriously, to the extent that we have fewer and fewer learners being involved in any form of chicanery in the examinations.
Now, let's come to the issue of unregistered institutions that a number of people continue to, fall for the trap. And you've also warned the public to say if they want to verify if an institution is registered, they should visit your website.
Yes, indeed. As parents will be registering their children for schooling and for TVET colleges at the beginning of the year, now that we're in January, it is imperative that they check the standing of that institution. And they can visit our website, www.umalusi.org.za, or call us on the Umalusi number to verify the registration standing, the accreditation standing of that institution. Because a lot of resources is being wasted for children who go to institutions that are unaccredited, and a lot of effort in terms of their studies, and a lot of money, because the students are not going to get an authentic certificate thereafter, but they'll be getting a fly-by-night. So it is important, now that we are in January, February, that as they register the children, they make sure and verify with us whether the institution is accredited or not.
Assuming that you are well aware of these number of colleges or institutions that most of these children end up registering for that are unaccredited, what is being done to make sure that those colleges or institutions are dealt with?
The constraint that we have as Umalusi is the fact that we are not a law enforcement agency. It is for the SAPS and other agencies to arrest those people and to close those institutions. And check with us whether that institution is legit or not. And we cannot arrest them because we don't have those powers in terms of the mandate that we have from the Act.
Now, before I let you go, CEO, let's touch on the issue of arrests that have been made of people that have been selling fake matric certificates. And obviously the number is increasing, and you've also warned people to refrain from doing that.
We celebrate the fact that there has been a breakthrough, and that the SAPS is moving with speed when it comes to these arrests. We are not sure whether the arrests have ended. We are not sure whether the SAPS is going to arrest more people, but For every person who's arrested doing this kind of thing, we celebrate, and we are saying to the members of the South African public, buying a fake certificate will not take you far, because that certificate will not appear on the National Learner Records database housed at SAQA, and it will not appear on the Umalusi system. So it is a waste of money, because those fraudulent certificates don't have any currency.
Thank you very much for your time, CEO. Now, he has mentioned that there's quite a number of progress that they could report on this particular time, but also mentioning that there are those few irregularities of students that are still being investigated. As you might have heard during the briefing, that there were some students that copied as groups, but fortunately this time there were no leakages like the year 2021. That was the last time that they heard of a case of that manner, and he continues to urge South Africans to refrain from buying matric certificates, or rather fake matric certificates, as obviously those will not take them anywhere. And he also mentioned that investigations are still continuing of those people that are believed to be responsible for selling fake qualifications. Back to you in studio, Dudu.